Do Kanye West have like a special kind of mental illness that requires us to bring up the fact that he's mentally ill literally all the time? Because what do his mental illness have to do with quite literally anything? And I'm sincerely asking, what does that very individual man's mental illness have to do with anything? I was also wondering or thinking actually, because I was there was like a landslide in Indonesia and a lot of people died. It's tragic, sad. But then I was just thinking about shit. I think it was Afghanistan or Iraq or Iran. No, it wasn't Iran. But I think it might have been some like part of Iraq a couple years ago went completely underwater. Like the whole peninsula, island, or whatever it was, wherever, like in that particular Asia part, completely underwater. And I'm like, remember, like, okay, so when you think about the Great Flood, Noah and the Big Ark, what was it? Noah and the flood? God's promise to Noah or whatever the fuck. Okay. You think the whole world flooded, right? Like the whole world flooded. And in our infographics and in our imagination, we take that as the globe, the entirety of the planet. But now I'm thinking, because I haven't really given it much thought. Well, hold on. There's a great flood. And I'm like, okay, that's some bullshit, but But then when you start studying, it's like other religions and other texts and other parts of the world, people also talk about this great flood. So I'm thinking, okay, like COVID, a great thing happened that impacted the whole world. Not impossible. So maybe the whole world did flood. But then you read a little bit more, just in the context of who is telling these stories. And I'm like, no, I'd like to think somebody's island flooded, like one of them islands in the southwest, the southwest Asia, because that's where all the Bible stories is from. One of them islands went underground or underwater because a storm came, and they just got on these boats and were like, wherever shall we go? Because there's no people. Meanwhile, they're circling the same peninsula because they never actually hit the ocean because, bitch, it's not that tragic, this flood that you're experiencing. Also, it sounds like a perfect setup for colonization because you need two of every kind to repopulate the earth. But what sense do that make? Are you bringing were they bringing the same animals and people back to the same plot of land, or did they use it as an excuse to hop in their boat and go find another empty patch of land, in which is never empty? It's always humans. Everywhere you go, there's gonna be humans. Why do we believe these stories where they're like, there was nobody there? You just showed up. There's just nobody across from sea to shining sea. It just wasn't nobody. That little plot of land in New Jersey, the size of New Jersey, you just showed up by the ocean, by the fucking ocean, and there just wasn't nobody, and it was so uninhabitable, but you just happened to be the chosen people to inhabit it. Like, it takes a modicum, like a little tiny bit of critical thinking, and people talk about critical thinking all the time. Critical thinking, but it's like, no, just a little, because Kanye West doesn't have a mental illness that would require the public's forgiveness. Now, what his mental illness might do to his relationship with his children and his friends and his family, that's private and that's sensitive. And I do say, like, respect that. Even if they put their business out, respect that. Like when Northwest start telling the family secrets, mind your business. Don't go get up in the mess, because no. But Kanye Omari West, who want to be known as Ye, kiss my ass. There's no world where I'm taking this man seriously. There's no world where I've ever taken this man seriously. That's not true. When I was like a teenager, and I thought celebrities were serious people, and I'm like, oh yeah, Kanye's saying cool things, he's doing cool things. I thought we always knew that he was an asshole, and that's why we liked him. But everybody got their own interactions with what they want to interact with. All that being said, he took out a full page apology ad in the Wall Street Journal. Like, all these things feel like a bit. Like, if you were to write them as a caricature, I don't know, I would laugh. That's why the Donald Trump of it all, I'm trying to tell you, the world is not going to end. Nothing is going to end except your life. Okay? The only thing that's going to end is your life. Life does not end. Your life will end. Or, depending on how you look at it, it'll evolve into a different metamorphosis of something else, reincarnation, all that kind of stuff. But life, that's cycles, baby. You think Donald Trump is going to do something that irrevocably changes the cycles of humanity? No, he is a cog in the machine of the divine. And divine has a good connotation and a celestial connotation. And I'm not going to look up these words right now because my phone is dead. But When I say divine, I mean that unspoken, that magic. A lot of the word, I just believe words in general are benign. They mean, and the infusion that you give them is what their power takes. So if I use the divine to speak about supernatural and powers in a good way, why would I not use them in the bad way? I know it's like to make a differentiation, but I'm trying to tell y'all, like, he's a cog in the machine of the divine. If y'all think he's evil and being is like possessed by the devil or whatever things people say to cope with the fact that people are just racist and dumb, and that's why they voted for him, is every person that I'm related to lives in a swing state. And I was like, hey, are you voting? Some of them said no. Some of them said, I haven't decided yet. And some of them said, I'm like, I know people who wouldn't proudly say this, and who like this, I'm exposing their deep secret shames that they voted for Donald Trump because they thought it would bring like money. And not even in a, like, it wasn't even like it. These aren't like big pot. These I can't explain it, and it's frustrating because the only person who ever explained it is fucking Taylor Lorenz, and I don't. Well, Taylor Lorenz has a punchable face. You know how I say Cutie Cinderella don't got a punchable face? Taylor Lorenz has a punchable face. Y'all better not do nothing crazy to that lady, but she's annoying as fuck. God damn, and not in a good way. Like, Emma Viglin's annoying, but in a good way. She's cool as shit. I love Emmy Viggy, but Taylor Lorenz, god damn, I had to get that off my chest. I had to get that off my chest. Like, I hate Taylor Lorenz so bad for no reason. She ain't done shit to me. Well, it's not no reason. I got an icky ick about her, but she's done nothing to prove it. So it's just like, oh, she just got that look. She a white woman. It's weird. Cause she also got dark hair, and I don't trust white women with dark hair. Cause you might not be all the way white. You might not be all the way white, so you might be a traitor. But like a natural blonde, baby, them is my gals. Anyways, Taylor Lorenz made a video talking about how in 2020, the cusp that Donald Trump election, but between Donald Trump being elected, between Joe Biden being elected and the pandemic onset. So just the 2020 and the beginning of 2021, there was so many social safety nets, and people felt that modicum of relief. A lot of people, because we watch it on TV and you see the lines and the bags of people stacked up and their bodies are dead, and that's all real. Everybody knows somebody who died from COVID. Everybody's like, where did all the people go? Bitch, they fucking died. Like, a lot of people died, right? And also, it's just a lot of people. So for me, generally speaking, unless I didn't make the very deliberate choices that I made, my life would be fine, and dare I say better, if I had to just, stayed the course. None of the COVID shit would have impacted me negatively. None of Donald Trump would have impacted me negatively. Actively, it probably would have benefited me financially in a large amount of ways. And so when people said that to me, there was no part of me that ever campaigned for Kamala, because when people are like, I'm not voting, or who cares? I'm like, what? If you don't already understand the dangers of this person, because he was already the president, I understood. I already told y'all, 2016, I didn't get the big deal. I didn't think he was going to win. And also, I didn't get the big deal. He's a Republican. Republicans have been in power before. The world didn't fucking end. Nobody fucking died. It's fine. They're not marginally worse in these ways. I learned. And then in 2020, Olayemi gave like linguistic framework, which talked about the weaker adversary, and that helped me a lot. However, when I'm communicating to people, if you don't already understand that these choices are quite simple, because again, 2016, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, that seemed easy to me, and it wasn't Donald Trump. It seemed easy because he seemed like a problem when he said I could shoot somebody in the middle of the face in Fifth Avenue when I wouldn't lose any votes. He said, I'll grab them by the pussy. They'll just let you do it. That's the full sentiment. That's what he said. When you're a celebrity, you can do anything you want. They'll just let you do it. And, we don't have to get into what that fucking means, you fucking rapist, psycho freak. However, if people aren't already tapped in and the other person didn't give a compelling enough argument, because what I'm going to say, hey, first time home buyers, she's like, bitch, I have kids and a husband and we're not eating. What do you mean buy a home? I don't even know how I got on that rant. Shout out to Kanye West. You really are a lot of fun. I don't know. I'm not mad. I just don't understand the mental health thing that keeps coming up. I've tried to be understanding. I've tried to be thoughtful. What does that individual man's mental health have to do with anything in conversation about him? I don't know, but you're not going to explain it to me because nobody's going to watch this every day except for Wednesday.